Tim Tremaine, also known as Big Cupe. Gangster love, baby. It's the season. Big Cupe, gangster love. You know what I'm saying? It's the season. Time and love is in the air. How y'all doing? Y'all good? Y'all all right?
Doing good. Yeah.
What's up?
I feel like I'm gonna sneeze.
Perfect timing. Hold on.
Yeah, we're good. Watermelon!
I didn't even introduce the show. That's my bad. You know,
Where are we?
I gotta show love to the show. Welcome to Sydecast, show about games, people who play them. Now, Ron, you may introduce us. That's my bad. I take responsibility for that.
Oh, it's okay. It's the first step, really. Taking responsibility.
That's all I try to do.
What's up, everybody? It's Ron, a.k.a. FutureBox FTW.
There we go.
No boo for you. We turned it around this week, fam. We turned it around. Last week was bad. The old FutureBox went 0. Let's just say an 0-3. It would have been 0-3. And we won this week. Took first place.
Hey yo.
4-0. Felt real nice.
Nice.
Felt good.
Ran the table.
I think I won something.
Hold on.
I haven't gotten it, but I think I won something.
Yeah. I don't know if you know, but there's not a lot of Pokemon stuff out there right now.
Not a lot of products. My thing is, we friends.
Yeah, we're good.
I respect you.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't play me, though.
I didn't play you.
I was a solid third place.
You were a solid third
I'll just
place.
put that out there.
What were you playing again?
Reggie Drago.
Ain't nobody give a shit about Reggie Drago.
We're setting the pace real strong.
It goes,
It matched with the topic for later.
Yeah, right. That's
was
true.
going with the WWE intro, right?
Oh, dog. Don't even get me started on WWE.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
It doesn't matter. Okay, I got it.
Anyways.
I'm so thirsty.
Oh, yeah, let's...
Okay.
Hey, Drew.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I was also playing, I downloaded Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
Oh, dog.
So
Nice.
I put that on. It is so clunky, but it's old. It is so clunky. So I mean, I was playing it like it felt okay, but like it was just, I'm too old for that kind of clunk. Like I need it to be more smooth.
Yeah.
And I think the game that I initially played was probably 3.
That makes
I'm
sense.
thinking it was 3.
Because 3 was way smoother.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Yeah, no, it probably was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard. There's
Yeah.
so many games you go back to with
man.
old control setups and old, like, even frankly, like Witcher 2, even
Yeah.
early Witcher 3 was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until they updated some of the control schemes.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like
100%.
Witcher 2 was like, you go back to some old games and you're just like, why would you possibly have mapped buttons this way?
Why have we done this?
Yeah.
I mean, it was still
Because
fun.
you hate me. That's why you did
All right.
this, right? Yeah.
It was still fun, but like a lot of the combat and stuff, I was just like, I'm pushing that, but I'm pushing that button. I'm pushing it. I'm pushing it. It's like, what?
I promise
It's
you I am.
popping up on the bottom of the screen after I'm just absolutely getting annihilated. You should block. You should press this button to block.
I assure you I am.
I'm pressing the button. I assure you I'm pressing the button. But I picked up Game Pass this week.
Nice.
Just so I could start playing some stuff, whatever.
You picked up Game Pass?
Yeah. I haven't had it.
It's the best deal in games.
Well, I mean, I had it. Like when Master or like the last Halo came out, I had it for a while, and I was playing that. But I just got it again to get back into it.
Best deal in games.
Yes, it's a very good deal. And I was also playing. There was another game that released. I'm gonna botch it. There was a game called Eternal Strands that just came out this week.
Okay.
It was on Game Pass. I don't know if it was on anything else. It doesn't seem like a very long game. It looks like it's like a 12-hour completion, which is right up my alley.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
Right up.
That's what you need.
Nice.
17 hours for like 100% completion. You
Beautiful.
know, perfect for me. Like I'm already 3 hours in, so I'm like almost done. No, it's like an RPG, same thing. Female protagonist. Art is very pretty. Music's very nice.
I'm sold.
It doesn't have like nice cinematic like cutscenes, which is it's all right. It's one of those like talky talk ones where like it's just art and then like they light up when they're talking.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
You know?
Nothing wrong with that.
But that's pretty. That it's fine. But overall, art's pretty good. Fighting's okay. Like you're basically like wielding like some kind of magic, which you can switch between the types of magic that you're using, and then the cape on your back changes color. Like when you do it, I'm like dope. Like I think that's cool.
I like that a lot, yeah.
There's some upgrading and that kind of stuff, but I'm not very deep in. But like So far, it's just been about acquiring like these waypoint gates or loom gates, as they call them.
Okay.
But yeah, art's really cool, music's really cool, and it's on Game Pass, so check it out. But that's it. I think that's all I played.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good.
I've been trying.
That's
I'm
a
trying.
good roster.
Yeah.
Hi, hello.
up,
Hey, I'm Drew.
2001.
No.
Dang.
Okay. Yes, I haven't even done it.
All right,
Okay.
sorry, I gotta go.
AKA cover these streets.
Okay. What did you say? What did you say?
Wait.
These streets.
Yep.
Cover these streets.
Yeah. Actually, no, that's wrong. Cover the city. Cover the city.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
That's
Cover the
sound
city,
gross.
and then the other one's walls in the streets.
Okay.
2006.
2006 is absolutely correct.
Okay. Very nice.
Nice.
It's a 7 seconds lyric about graffiti, and 2006 was big time. It was art school, middle of art school. Well, actually, I would have been in the middle of art school, but it ended up being the end of art school. And so I was very, very into doing graffiti at that point in time,
Nice.
and so. Yeah, I think it was only my AOL in semester. I don't think I ever adopted it as a gamer as a gamer tag.
Just the AI.
But I think it was just the stranglings of AIM.
All right. Well, what was your away message?
I don't remember. At that stage, I don't remember. It might have been the walls in the streets.
Gotcha.
But there's a 7 second song called Red and Black.
Okay.
It's about doing graffiti.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so
Red and black. Red and black.
this week has been like a surprisingly large amount of video gaming for me.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yes, my buddy Josh turned a number in his 30s and wanted to have a slumber party sleepover video game party.
Hell
my
yeah.
God.
Hell yeah.
It didn't happen.
Dang, that's the dream,
yeah,
dude.
no.
I got excited for you.
I was on board. I showed up with a fucking toothbrush and toothpaste, okay? And then everybody looked at me like that was a joke. And I was like, I don't think it was. And Josh was like, I don't think it was. But anyway. But we did stay up. We did play late until like 2 a.m.-ish. Got some Mario Party Jamboree in.
Nice.
Played my first game of Mario Party Jamboree.
What level did you play on?
The island one, the volcano island.
Oh,
one,
nice.
The one where the tide rises
Yeah,
and
yeah.
lowers. Mario Party remains bullshit.
Yeah.
Just to be very clear.
Takes no skill.
Yeah. And you were punished for having skill.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, is it so much fun?
It's
fun. really
It's so fun. Played some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Okay.
And then played Pico Park 1.
that is.
The cat co-op puzzle game.
Oh.
It's
So
adorable.
it is so adorable. It is extremely difficult.
Very.
Oh, okay.
So it's up to 8 players, but you can play as long as you have 2 or more.
Okay.
It's like a zero instructions cooperative puzzle game. So you're just like dropped into a room with your other little cat buddy.
Nice.
And you got to figure out how to get the key and open the door.
Okay.
That's it.
Gotcha. It's an escape room.
And it's all like 8-bit. It was maybe even like more bits than are in the graphics, but
It's very morbid.
It's really good. I mean, the ramp is like a bell curve. Like the first one is just like walk right and jump and grab the key and open the door, and then by like the second one, you're
Climbing through fire.
effectively.
Yeah.
And so it's really, really cool. And then I got to play that. I sat down and learned Finspan.
Okay.
Because we're gonna
Yeah.
probably do a teach and play on this coming Thursday this week.
Nice.
So we get to demo it for everybody way before it's out, which is fun and cool.
Yes. It's very exciting.
And then I played more Pico Park and actually beat all of Pico Park 1 with my oldest daughter.
Nice.
So it was like Saturday night. she was like, let's play some video games. I was like, it's 10:30, and she was like, but it's not a school night. And I was like,
got me.
I was like, all right. I was like, you want to play Pico Park? She was like, is that cat? And I was like, yeah. And so we sat down and we played from. I told her like I just played this the night before, so like I'm not helping you on worlds like 1 through 6.
Yeah.
Like you are gonna have to instruct me 100% on how to solve these because I know how to solve them. I just did it. And so yeah, we got through. We got caught up to where me and Josh left off, and then went all the way until 12, and it was like
nice.
Post midnight.
Yeah. What is that? What system is it on?
Oh, it's on a lot of things. We played on Switch.
Okay.
So it's like Pico Park 1 is like $5,
Okay.
and Pico Park 2 is like $9.
Okay.
I think 2022 and 2024 are the years that 1 and then 2 respectively came out.
Okay.
My understanding is that 2 is like punishingly difficult.
Oh,
okay.
Like yeah.
Oh, sick.
I mean, 1 was hard. Like it was
Yeah.
very hard, just to
Yeah.
be clear. But like my understanding is that 2 is like oh you better
you
better
thought-
get
you thought
you
you
better
eat
get
shit
ready.
and die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
You thought you had game 1 down.
Yeah.
Get ready.
And then I think also it increases in difficulty the more people you are playing with. So like it
okay.
expects more and more teamwork.
Sure.
Okay.
And so and that's the crux to any one of the puzzles.
Yeah.
Any one of the puzzles is like, if the teamwork falls apart, you fail.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Like perfect teamwork, failure.
Destiny
there's,
raid jumps.
there's literally one puzzle where you blend into one cat and now you have to like effectively play a Mario level, but you only move if you're doing it all in perfect unison.
Gotcha.
Oh, no way.
Like,
Okay.
you're only moving forward if you're moving forward in perfect unison. You're only jumping if you're pressing jump at the same time. The coolest part about that was like me playing with Josh. Like we got it down for whatever reason. Me and my daughter like. We realized she figured out what it was.
Yeah.
And she was like, we have to do it all at the same time. And I was like, okay, what do you want the strategy to be? She was like, let's just both play it like we're playing a Mario level. And we're just like, okay. And we just went and just did it in one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, it was just like, we just jumped when we were jumping. It was just like, what's that in Pacific Rim?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say, Pacific Rim,
Is it
yeah.
called drifting?
When they both connect like neurally.
I think it's called drifting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like that moment.
It only works if we're both doing.
Yeah.
We are
it's
one
very much
mind.
the vibe.
Very much Randy Savage of you.
Yes.
And then played more Sons of the
comes to the
Forest
top.
last night. Yeah, more poop your pants.
All right.
Nice. Nice.
Good.
How deep are y'all? Yeah.
We're real. I think the group that I'm playing with is like 3 people that have played, 2 people that have beat the story, and another person that's like gotten close, and then me who's never played.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And so they're now talking about like taking this group of 4 and maybe playing some Sea of Thieves afterwards.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So I feel like the fact that they're picking the next game we take this to, that we're close. I like honestly at the game, like I've just got the first inkling of like even what's happening on this island. So I don't know. I don't know if it's like you get that and then it just like starts to unwrap.
Okay.
But we've got 3 of the night V's
Nice.
that I talked about last time. So we've got 3 of those now. Still 3. We're still missing 1. We've got a no taking them out on missions rule until we find a 4th.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Night
and
V,
so-
roll out.
Yeah, we have electricity. So we got solar power on our island. We moved to a little island, and then we've started worshiping a god
Nice.
Okay.
that we built on the island.
Do you get to name the god?
Yeah, we did name the god. I mean, none of this is in the game. Like,
gotcha.
the game's never like pick a god.
Oh,
and start worshiping. We just decided that we're that's just us RPing.
Onam Shavade, Onam Shavade.
Yeah. And we got gliders, so now you can. We built a gigantic wood tower that we climb to the top of and just jump off and start gliding everywhere on the island.
All right.
Yeah, but definitely lots and lots of jump scares in the game, lots of just generally spooky sides. And then it seems to be like the more you explore, the AI ramps up, and you start to see like stuff that you only found in a cave before is just like out in it's just like out in the forest. So like
I was avoiding that cave.
yeah, so the forest the forest gets scarier.
Gotcha.
You know
Okay.
but it's good. It's definitely rising in terms of like my favorite survival survival.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't say it
survival.
was like
It
It
on
was
first
not your
playthrough
favorite,
was definitely wasn't my favorite, but I do think a lot of it is like what's happening in the group.
Sure.
Right, yeah.
And all the silliness that's happening.
Spooky games with friends are way less spooky.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
They do.
they do.
So yeah, but it's been a great week for gaming. Not a great week for Pokemon, but great week for gaming. Except Ron.
Except for me.
The last week was a great week for this coming week is not gonna be a great week for Pokemon.
No.
Solid third place.
Yeah.
No recognition.
All right. I'm Rachel. I'm gonna
What's
go.
up, dog?
What's up? What's up, dog? I'm gonna go, AKA the Rad One, which is. Oh, let's play the guest. Let's play the guest that year.
it was on your MySpace,
See, now
right?
I'm scared. MySpace? 09?
MySpace was pretty close to dead by then, I feel like.
I am 2005.
2004.
Okay.
Oh, there it is, baby.
Yeah.
Nice job. Very nice. Very nice. Yes, that's 2004. Gaming wise, good week. Gaming wise, got plenty of gaming in this weekend. Also did Mario Party Jamboree. Who's in
Nice.
that game?
There's Mario, Peach. I think there's the girl in the blue dress. Who's her name?
Rosalina?
Rosalina?
Oh yeah, and Luigi, and then Donkey Kong. Yeah, lots of cool characters in Mario
Lots
Party
of cool
Jamboree,
characters, yeah.
and they're really easy to unlock.
Yeah,
unlike
super
the last
easy
one.
to unlock. Yeah, Wario's really easy too. Have you done that?
No.
It's fucking terrible.
No. Shit. Wario's difficult. I didn't even know he existed. I just got the easy ones that were like hanging out on islands around the like. All you have to do is like zoom around and zoom in. They're like, oh, you found this person added to your character.
Oh,
there.
yeah. My brother-in-law came up to stay with us for the weekend,
Nice.
and he was like, "Yeah, let's play Mario Party." And I was like, "Oh man, here we go."
Nice.
And I was like, "Well, which level do you want to do?" And he was like, "How about the hardest one?" I was like, "Oh, great."
Why you-
But we ended up doing like the island with the tides
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Super
make
fun. Sammy won. My wife won.
Okay.
Nice.
So
Real quick
everybody
question.
was really upset. Except for her.
Was it because of bonus stars?
Oh yeah.
It's always
Oh, it's always because of
It's
bonus.
always
Yeah.
because
She snagged 2 at the end
Right.
via
how
a
it
gold
goes.
warp pipe.
Okay.
Nice.
And was like, because Brendan kept stealing them from her, specifically because sibling things, right?
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, so
Did we
sibling
do-
rivalry was happening, and then
Your brother Star is mine.
I'll be honest, that map having a boo that you just pay
Yeah.
50 to steal a...
Yeah.
that's what he did.
Yeah, that's
I would.
My daughter
It's,
got 4 stars in
it's
one
something.
turn. That one.
Ugh.
She stole 2 and then ran into the star. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. It was brutal, but she got it for mini games. So and
nice.
one other thing, mini games and something else. Anyway, so Jamboree was fun. We yelled at each other.
It's appropriate.
It was great.
It's like playing Uno with your family.
Yes. Blood and Wine, I'm at the very end as of tonight. So, and I knew that was coming. So,
Ooh.
with that being said, I downloaded a bunch of games,
All
and
right.
Run 'em
so
down, run 'em
I got them all on the docket,
In
ready
queue.
to go in
Ready to
queue,
go.
which includes
Backlog.
Tomb Raider.
Okay.
The
Remasters?
Remasters?
Yes.
Yes.
It includes Biped, which is a co-op game.
Okay.
It looks interesting. It was free. So
Okay.
That rings a bell, but I can't remember.
Is good.
I looked at it like super quick, and I went, 2-person cooperative game.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Right, yeah.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
It looks very puzzly,
Sure.
like very.
Breaks
It takes 2 very. Why can't I think of the name of the one where you're a ball of yarn? I'm talking about
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unravel.
Unravel.
Yeah, Unravel,
Yes, yes.
That was a good one.
Unravel was great. I
Yeah.
love that game. And then what else is in the queue? Fallout 4.
Okay.
All right.
So I've actually only ever started Fallout 4 like 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then never finished it. One of my friends is a really big fan of Fallout, and was like, please try it again. And I was like, all right, why not? You know,
Yeah.
trying to be a little bit more like go a little bit outside of my. I typically don't play
I respect
first person. I
Yeah.
know I
Okay.
grew up playing a fair amount of first person games. I typically just prefer third person.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I was like, you know what? This is like my genre too. Like the wheelhouse of like post-apocalyptic stuff is like, give it to me. Usually, like that's content I want to consume. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll see how I feel.
Yeah. I will say, like, with Fallout 4 and being a first-person game, like, the whole VATS combat system really eliminates it, like, from being, like, a first-person shooter in a lot of ways. Like, it's very RPG-ish in the sense that, like, okay, you've now entered combat.
Okay.
And now you're going to select that arm. This weapon does this amount of damage. It is going to do that amount of damage.
Right.
It is probably going to blow that arm off. And so you can like freewheel the combat in that system.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's really not designed to be played that way.
Right.
It
Yeah.
is
Like, why would
really
you do
like,
that?
it is really VATS, select a target, fire at the target. Time slows down and you're doing that whole.
It's not
that whole
thumbstick
shit.
precision.
Cool.
No,
Then
not
I will
in
probably
any way,
like
shape.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I'll probably
Very,
like
very RPG-ish in combat.
it. Yeah. And then there was one other game that I downloaded that is escaping. Oh, Doom 3.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys were talking about Doom, and like I've watched Doom.
Okay.
Never actually like held the controller in my own hands and played Doom.
You've watched Doom the game, not the movie.
Correct.
Hold on.
Go.
I've watched people play
I
Doom.
am not accepting Doom the movie slander. It was not good, but it was so fun. Y'all, you know what?
I mean,
Uh-oh.
I haven't seen it.
No.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen
I
it.
can't contribute. I have not.
From
seen
a human that enjoys the Scorpion King, I did not like Doom 2.
Oh man.
He did preface it by saying it's not good.
It is.
I did.
Oh, it's definitely bad. I still
it's
enjoyed it while I watched it, but like I'm not gonna go back and watch
So
it.
you
That's
guys
what
are
I'm
saying the same thing?
No, but there's a difference. Like I'll rewatch a Scorpion King over and over again. I will not watch Doom again.
Okay.
0% chance.
So you just don't like having a good time.
Sure. Yeah.
So Ron doesn't like fun.
I don't like
Okay.
fun.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's. I
We've
think
now
that's.
established that.
Unless the fun involves family. Then I have fun.
Dom Toretto, that you?
Yeah.
My dog?
I love Fast and Furious movies. Anyways,
See?
Yeah.
Oh, so you should be more understanding of Doom.
I understand that it was a movie.
I think the commitment to first person shooter camera perspective
That
that
scene
they
was
made.
dope.
But it was only one scene.
Yeah.
It needed to be more.
Yeah.
It needed to
Hold
be
on.
more.
Yeah.
Let me
I don't-
hear me
All right,
out.
I'm listening. Let me listen.
So there was just that one scene, right?
Yeah, just
it was a
the
good
one.
time.
Mhm, it was a good time.
Have you heard of the movie Hardcore Henry?
Yes.
No, but I do want to watch that because that's basically it's the whole movie, right?
Full movie does not work.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It doesn't.
Okay, don't watch the movie.
It's cool.
Find the scene.
Just to be clear, Hardcore Henry is cool for
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
And it is, but yeah,
Entirely. It's-
you would not want
No.
an entire first
okay.
person
All
movie.
right. Okay. I'm gonna be sick.
But I think
Watch it in VR.
Ooh.
Oh God.
I got motion sickness.
Anyway, so yeah, you watch Doom.
I watch people play
Watch
Doom.
people
Oh,
play
okay.
Doom.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what
Sorry.
happened there.
We got it's my fault.
Spin that backwards.
And the thing that is the bummer about the situation with the Witcher 3 Blood and Wine DLC is that I've come to the realization, and I won't say like why, just in case somebody who's watching this hasn't played. I feel like none of the endings are amazing, and like
gotcha.
like they don't all, none of them like feel super great
Right.
because something has to happen to somebody like no matter what, and so that kind of takes some of the agency out of the core thing that I like about The Witcher.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, like most,
understand.
there's still, you can only get so many endings, right?
yeah,
But that being said, like I still felt like by and large, like if you made good calls in The Witcher 3, like you could get some outcomes that felt good, right?
Okay. Sure.
The Blood and Wine DLC is kind of like, well, this is sad no matter
Yeah.
what.
Feels bad, man.
Like, I mean,
Feel bad.
I'm going to do something that I never have done before on purpose because I know how to trigger that ending because
Right, yeah.
like I just want to see it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's generally considered the quote unquote bad ending.
Gotcha.
But I feel good about it.
Yeah.
I'm committing to it.
Yeah.
Finish him.
Yes. Well, yes.
What do you mean?
But yeah, so it's a little bit of a like realization throughout this playthrough that I'm like, I can see why, even though it is my favorite DLC, a lot of people go, I don't like this DLC,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
very interesting because traditionally the like France Italy hodgepodge experience is my favorite.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, Red Dead has the same sort of situation.
Right.
Right. I don't think you write that ending into a game for its replayability.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you write that ending into the game for the way it feels to play it the first time.
Yeah.
On to the next.
And Red Dead, I feel like, has handled it the best in the sense to say, when you boot this game back up, you will. In Red Dead, we'll spoil Red Dead.
Spoilers.
In Red Dead Redemption 1,
I mean,
the main character
Been out
dies
like
at the
20
end. And when you boot back up, you are playing your save with everything you have unlocked and all everything, but as the son, like 10
Gotcha.
years later.
Gotcha.
Right?
Makes sense.
Who just happens to look like
Just the
So it
same.
just happens to look just
but he's got like a beard.
Yeah.
Or, no, like a mustache
Yeah.
instead of a beard or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, that gives you like but to your point, when that is the only way that it can end,
Yeah.
there's agency that is removed.
Yeah,
That,
and-
where you go like, okay, but then Red Dead also is like, well, no, Red Dead's got enough of like choosing your own path sort
Yeah,
of stuff, but
yeah.
it's not as many
Yeah.
as Witcher.
Yeah.
As generally speaking.
So, you know, I mean, it's just one of those things where I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see why some people felt maybe like, this is a not amazing experience at the end. Even I maintain that it's still my favorite.
Sure.
Because the world that you get to exist in for that period of however many hours it takes you to do the DLC is just so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I think that's all I got.
Got those feel bads man's like
those
in
feel
the
bads?
no I've like played games like that where you're like I get that feeling when if like you've watched Attack on Titan, like just one of those things where it's
the
like
worst.
it's like I love it because it's great, but then you always feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like this overarching like damn it, like this is like I want to keep watching, but like oh I feel bad.
Yeah.
Like it's just so hard to watch sometimes. I'm like, like everything is so bad and so gruesome. And not gruesome, but like, well, it is gruesome. But like, what I'm trying to say, it's like there's no hope in sight. Like,
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah, and,
like-
I think that's the same thing that you kind
Yeah.
of I think that's all, in my opinion, that's the experience that the game is ultimately going for. Is that like with your happy ending as a player like you may get closure, but that doesn't always mean that like the world you get to exist in is filled with great things,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so like once again, as a player, you are faced with inevitably difficult decisions, and you have to make an assessment of which difficult decision
Right.
you think is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I will not shut it off.
And like, and like as a player experience, I think that is why I find that particular game so moving, and it's something I sit with after I'm done,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I go, wow, like that was a difficult thing to decide about.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what makes
Sure,
games.
100%.
Yeah.
I feel that right here.
Like when for me, right? Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, when you feel it in your soul after you finish, you're like,
Yeah.
wow, would like wipe the brow, right?
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Halo Reach is my absolute
Yeah.
favorite Halo game. Like hands down,
Yeah.
I have
The
the most
finale.
multiplayer hours in it. Everything. I played through the campaign in that once. Still maintain it is the best campaign in any Halo
very good.
game. I have tried on several different occasions to go back and play through it. And you get in and you're playing it and it's great and it feels good and it still feels so good to play.
Yep.
And then like as the story unfolds, I'm like,
Team members start
oh, I don't
dropping.
want to
Yep.
finish this.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt.
I remember how this is,
Yeah.
and I just I'm just gonna boot it up and play some multiplayer.
Yeah.
When Master Chief Collection came back out, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm playing Reach
Yeah.
again, and then I was like, no,
No, I remember that feeling too. I
I'm
remember
not playing
yeah.
Reach again.
Yeah.
So it has. I do really get that.
Yeah.
Like, it hits really well and impactfully once, and then it kind of gives you a little bit of the trauma.
Yeah,
So-
it makes you feel a little icky.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to do it again.
Almost want to have it wiped or scrubbed from your memory just
Right,
so
yeah,
you can
like-
enjoy it the first time again.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I've said that 100 times. Like if I could just replay The Witcher 3 for the first time in
Yeah.
its entirety,
Yeah.
and every time I play it, just wipe my brain, so it was like it was a brand new experience.
Sick.
Man, oh man.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Elon's working on it.
What's up,
Tremaine,
dogs?
baby.
What do you?
What you got?
So your boy been chilling this week. Not too much gaming. I also started Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. I don't like it for the exact
Did you at least
same
make it through the
reason.
stage, the first stage?
I did.
Okay.
My beef is I can make it through clunky controls.
Yeah.
Why the fuck can I lock on?
Yeah.
You gonna give me all these people
Yeah.
and I can't target, dog?
No. No, you sure you
Yeah.
can. Just push in the direction and attack.
Oh, it's awful. But the direction
It's
controls
so
are
hard.
clunky.
It's so
We
hard.
had target lock in Ocarina of Time, so
Yeah,
so-
Ninja Gaiden 2 doesn't have
Yeah.
it.
Have no
it's
excuses.
targeting.
Doesn't have it.
And so there's a remaster.
Yeah.
You could have.
Well, clearly they didn't want it.
You could
Ooh,
have.
oh, I didn't realize it's a remaster.
Yeah.
Clunky controls in a remaster. I have
That's-
less.
Yeah.
I have less.
It's,
I don't have as much pity.
I
for
don't.
that.
I don't really don't
It's
have any
not-
pity for it.
Uh-uh.
it's not.
It looks better.
great.
Yeah.
It looks better.
Okay,
goody.
great.
But it plays like shit.
Yeah, that's rough.
Respect-
Touch up them controls.
Remember, please. Fucking please.
Yeah.
Don't worry, the fourth one will be great.
I mean, 3 wasn't bad.
No, 3 was good.
You could drop an HD on the end of a game,
Sure.
And not call it a
I'll
remaster.
and not call it a remaster. But if you're remastering
It's
it,
And
they
better
added
fucking
a
work right.
word.
yeah, if you put remaster on the end of the album and all the parts that sounded like shit still sound like shit,
I don't think it's remastered.
it's just
Right,
louder.
Yeah.
I'm not.
What'd you do to
It's
change
just
this? Turn it up a little bit. Yeah.
But kind of to tag along to y'all conversation. Well, I was also here, but like, I've been.
That was half a
Did
pop.
was
you
here.
dissociate?
I was listening.
We'll find
I was
out at the end
collecting.
if he remembers which one of his names are there.
Oh fuck! It's already back.
All right.
I restarted Dragon Age Veilguard,
Okay.
and that ending is also tough to go through.
Okay.
And I did put it down because I was like, I don't want to hurt. Because so the ending. I'm not gonna try to spoil anything, even though it didn't sell that well anyway. But
And it'll never sell
he's
again.
I don't feel like you had to.
He's
I
back.
don't feel like you had to make that dig this week. You
You
know.
just slid right into it.
the whole dig is a topic. People lost their jobs. It's actually
They
bad.
did, yes.
Yeah.
But the ending is essentially you pick your companions that you've developed over time, and you put them in position that they are best suited for, and you essentially go to war
Okay.
with Darkspawn, these 2 gods, blah 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 blah. And even if so everybody has like a story set up, and you can reach the end of their story, and they're like y'all homie, y'all tight. And they're gonna be the best that they can at what they do. So you got the strong person, the smart person, the leader, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And there's 2 spots, no matter what you do, no matter how close y'all are, no matter how strong they are, they passing away.
Oh,
Period. End of story. It don't matter.
that's tough.
And I was like,
God, that feels bad.
and the
Right.
2 characters that those are, no matter who you choose, it's still gonna end up being those 2 characters. They
Gotcha.
they're gonna shove
Oh,
me.
whoever. It's just whatever the 2 you are the best with.
Oh,
Okay.
Damn.
Oh, so they're not even. It's
Uh-uh.
not just these 2
That
characters.
shit hurts.
It's not just like character Jim and character
Nah.
Steve are dying.
Nah.
Right.
It is like character X and character Y are
Yes.
dying.
The very
You gotta
best.
pick
Yeah.
one of them.
Oh.
Whoever you select for this job,
Yeah.
passing away, no matter how
Oh,
good
man.
you do.
Oh man. Okay.
And it hurts.
Yeah.
And the messed up part is the ending sequence outside of that decision, because you don't know at first, obviously.
Sure.
It's incredible.
Okay.
It's like a full war. It's like cut scenes in there. Hey, do this. They run in. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know why it didn't sell more, but it's dope. And then I cried, and I don't want to do that again.
I understand that.
But that's
My tears.
That's real.
what's been on my situation. Really hate that I can't lock on it in Ninja Gaiden Black. Like that is asinine to me.
Yeah.
If you were going to, I don't care about the full clunky control. I actually enjoyed it a little bit. I was like,
Okay. Old school.
old school, exactly. I hit the sticks, buttons,
No
D-pad,
locks.
all the buttons.
Check the control settings.
I did. I was like, are you telling me in a game where y'all throwing like 15 enemies at me,
From all directions.
Yeah.
I can't lock on, not even during boss fights, dog?
Right, yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Dog.
I was struggling hitting a single person.
Dog.
I was like, dude.
It's, and the dodge mechanic, oh my God. It's awful.
Yeah.
The
I
60s of dodgeball.
I watched my eldest beat Breath of the Wild without ever using target lock.
Oh,
Man.
Beat it.
dang.
Like honed the skill and I was,
Slide her Ninja Gaiden.
it's painful. I mean, there's target lock in that game for a reason.
Yeah. Honey,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
you're doing great.
You're doing so. Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
It's so good.
Yeah. But I mean, but by the end, like just.
Now,
Locked
here's the
it
thing,
in.
though, right?
And-
Like, when she do discover target lock, a beast.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she knows it's there now. I mean, that was, God, I don't know how many years ago that was
Nice.
now. Like, but yeah, and yeah.
Listen, we don't
Tears
have
of
the
Kingdom.
fast twitch fibers.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
I
depreciating.
need a target lock.
Yes.
I need one
If it's
every
not
time.
first person, I need a target lock.
Or if I don't
know
have a
how
mouse.
I don't know how to aim something over a shoulder.
Nah.
Yeah.
No,
I've never done that before.
never in my life.
Especially with like Marvel Rivals or whatever, like you see those videos where like you literally have to like target like top left in order
Oh,
to
yeah,
hit
'cause,
because,
like,
you're-
they're
because
like a
of
weird-
the third person.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you aim right at them, you don't hit them.
Yeah.
You have to like it's top right.
Yeah.
So it's like right above them to the right, and then it'll hit them in the head. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
No.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because in third person it's camera angles, but still, like
still.
it doesn't make sense. It could be. It could
Don't
be.
give me a reticle then.
Yeah.
Don't-
Exactly.
Exactly.
I just don't need a
Just,
just
calibrate
I'll
the
just-
reticle
yeah.
so that it's in,
yeah,
in the proper spot.
for the bullet drop.
Right.
Thank
Yes.
you very much.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my god.
But, speaking of Dragon Age, BioWare,
Yes.
Yeah.
started as a team. Well, not started, but like as the development of Dragon Age was going on. The team was over 200 people about. Then Dragon Age happened, and it underperformed by like 50% of what they expected. And initially, from my understanding, they were loaning people out at first because the new Mass Effect was getting developed. They were like, okay, don't need full team. Let's loan some people out. And then some of those people didn't come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rough.
I think the release was BioWare's down to like 100 employees total.
Yeah.
A little less.
Yeah, a little less. And
That's tough.
I think, I don't remember exactly, but I think like peak BioWare, it was maybe 6 times that.
Yeah.
So,
It was large.
So,
So Mass Effect 2030?
I mean,
Do you even want it?
Not really.
I mean, this has been happening all over the place,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and Microsoft has been this is the gloom part of the buying up all these studios, and this is the I think it's been a lot more favorable for a lot of the indie studios they've bought and just basically like handed a bag and said like, you just keep running, doing what you're doing, we don't care.
Yeah.
I think on the bigger side of things, the companies they purchased to kind of rein in, to say like, we like the IP that you have going, maybe not the businesses that you've been running.
Right.
And I think BioWare is kind of firmly in that camp. So I suspect this may not be the end of what we see happening at BioWare or at maybe some of the larger studios. But I also don't know. You know, I mean, it's unfortunate. I always hate to see when it's the like creatives.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. Like it's hard to tell whether or not like the failure is happening at the creative side, right? Or if like people just lost their passion for the projects, and so it's just, you know, maybe the creativity isn't really flowing in the right directions, and they do need to move on to something else.
Or if it's being micromanaged
or
from
if it's-
the top so
yeah,
much that it's
yeah.
watering down
So-
and removing all the fun parts that would actually be in the game from the gamers that are actually being creative and developing the games.
Yeah, that's
I don't think that'll sell well. Okay. Add scantily clad women.
I saw it in Expo 22 years ago.
I
should have retired
where they had an Xbox.
I should have retired 24 years ago.
Yeah. That's the vibe that I always am worried about, and I don't think we know. As far as the stuff I read, we don't know like who the 100 that are left are, whether or not it's like creative leads and writers that are going to be given like more control and go like, hey, this way, or if it's just like all middle and upper management and up to or it could just be the skeleton crews of everything left to make sure that wherever this stuff winds up next, those people know what to do with it, right? Like is also a possibility. Like I don't think they'll gut BioWare
I don't think so.
because BioWare has a name. I would venture to guess that they're figuring out how to refocus BioWare so that BioWare can make a Mass Effect 1, a Dragon Age 1, a Knights of the Old Republic,
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know, please.
They have to know.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, Microsoft's gotta know that, like, I mean, we have Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's still alive and well.
Yeah.
It's still actually up there as like one of my favorite MMO experiences to a degree. It's the best leveling experience that's ever existed in an MMO. But like, they gotta know that like a new Knights of the Old Republic does stuff. In the like,
It does stuff.
I mean, it would really. I feel like at this stage, like the cult of following that game has for gamers that got to play it when it came out, or gamers that have visited it and as like a coming of age, like rite of passage. But you played Knights of the Old Republic, right? Star Wars.
Their recent track records with their games are really good. I mean, the Star Wars other franchise games, like what were the ones with Cal Kestis?
That's
Dead or Survivor.
Fallen Order.
Yeah.
I didn't play some
incredible games.
but I did love Fallen Order.
So good.
Yeah, I had to bite them all the way down to super easy because they're a little
They're
bit
very hard. You gotta eat it when you
Dog.
I'm playing on Grandma.
You got a fucking cloak on, your hood's up and shit. The lights are out, lightsabers lit next to your face, and you're just.
I cannot be disturbed. I tried Grandmaster.
Oh, it's fucking foul.
Fuck that.
It's foul.
Yeah.
How many times do I have to tell you there's something? Well, there's something wrong with me. In my
we
brain.
still homies.
I mean, all right, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah,
they gotta know.
They have to.
There's I mean, Star Wars is a weird space to make anything in right now because it's also, I feel like, where every toxic nerd goes to remind you that toxic nerds exist. Let me tell you why this isn't Star Wars, and also in the same sentence tell you why I've never actually paid attention to Star Wars.
Oh my god.
People like that
Yeah.
is why I've never played Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Hi, I'm surface level Ron. I only know the surface level, no lore. Very, very small bits.
I've only seen the movies.
And you know what? And I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I'm happy.
No, we respect it.
That's enough.
Oh, shit.
What? We respect it.
We respect
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
We
hell
respect
yeah.
all levels of nerdiness.
Absolutely.
And I love Star Wars.
Except those levels.
Yeah.
I don't really think that's a level of nerdiness. I think that's a level of self-loathing.
Right. This is my thing.
But
This is my
It's only mine.
It's
Yeah.
mine.
yeah.
Oh, you like it? Now I hate it.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah, so that stinks. I mean,
Yeah,
the
does stink.
BioWare stuff is unfortunate. I think some similar news coming out of Ubisoft.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that work in the video game space. Video games are very alive and well.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is a ramification of like gaming not being popular
Sure,
or
no,
anything like that.
definitely
I don't think it's ever been popular, frankly.
Yeah.
I think it's top-heavy business organizations, and I will say, from the people that I know that are in like Activision Blizzard area, it's not a lot of the creatives that are being.
Right.
I mean, there are creatives that are,
Yeah.
but those are mostly on games and teams that like the game is just done. They're not doing anything with it
Right.
anymore.
Right.
And so like,
Right.
but it's a lot of like management and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff that's really moving in a specific direction. So.
What? Upper management causing problems within businesses?
Yeah.
No way?
Well, I mean, in Activision Blizzard had a very, very public
Yes, yes.
management and business running, so that one's not as surprising.
I mean,
Right? They're
luckily
like-
we have a lot of indie developers that make a lot of really cool games too.
Indies
so-
killing it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have been.
Maybe it's because indies gaining some of that market share that the big boys are used to having or whatever.
Tools are democratized. It's.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's not hard to make great video games. It is hard to make great video games, but it's
But the tools are definitely better.
the tools are
Yeah.
better. You can kind of
Absolutely.
plug in and play and get a great idea into existence faster
Right.
For sure.
because of the tools that exist now.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's okay.
Yep. Same.
Yeah. There's a little bit of Switch news.
Small amount of Switch.
There's a little bit of Switch news. I think we pretty much have a price. I think we pretty much have a price, and then the rumor is that we may actually be looking at a day and date drop. This is but like the rumor is like, hey, that April thing may be a little bit more than this is what's in it announcement.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. Rumors swirling.
So
I like it.
I don't know how credible those are, but
Incredible.
there are I think it's that same source that originally accidentally put the pre-orders up.
Okay.
Like it is definitely it's an Italian retailer. It's like Italy's version of GameStop, basically.
Nice.
Okay.
Game it a
And-
stop.
Yeah, and Game it a stop. Yeah, and so I think they've got like accessories and all sorts of stuff like in
shit.
hand, and it
Shoot.
just leaked
They let the
out.
cat
So.
out the bag.
Yeah.
Ready.
Yep.
Let the Switch out the bag, if you will.
So yeah, but it looks like the other really interesting thing. It's going to have ray tracing
Oh,
Yeah.
because the Indiana Jones game is going to play on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they announced that it'll play that, and that's not the first apparently, but maybe the first. I don't know. One of the discussions I was having with some friends, there was disagreement. I believed that it was the first game to say graphics card no do ray tracing. You're not allowed to play the game.
Gotcha.
And so like it requires ray tracing capabilities. So if one of two things are happening, they're redeveloping the game to bake in the lighting effects, which would actually make the game bigger, not
Yeah.
smaller.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's unlikely for a Switch.
For sure.
Right, for sure.
Extremely unlikely for a Switch.
Yeah.
And so the more likely part of that, even though again not released yet, is that whatever Nvidia and Nintendo have put in this bad boy
Yeah, it seems like,
has
a
native ray
proprietary.
tracing.
Yeah, like they specifically built it for the Switch in order to do that thing. That's
Yeah.
what I saw.
Yeah.
Whatever. That'll be interesting. It
Very.
could be more powerful than we actually.
I'm starting to think.
So, which goes back to, we had a question at one point in time, like Switch 2 or Steam Deck. If the Switch 2 launches at a sub $500 price point with ray tracing on it, it's a Switch 2.
It's
Like,
Damn it!
I'm leaning towards it.
I mean,
Whatever. We're getting both.
It really is.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we're getting both.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that is the actual answer because
Right,
you'll
yeah.
never have the accessibility to the PC stuff on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, the Switch 2 could be a monster.
It could.
Switch could be a beast.
could.
It really could. The question will be, what do they do with that battery?
Right, yeah.
Because I don't know what ray tracing does to a battery, but it's not gonna be good.
No.
They're gonna make accessories that you wear on your wrists. Connect your extra batteries, wrist batteries.
Just constantly walking around
Right,
like
yeah.
this.
It's just a bunch of rechargeable AAAs inside of it, like,
Something shows up on the screen. Reload. You gotta put it in.
It's not a bad idea.
There you go.
There you go. All right.
Nintendo, are you listening?
I'm just imagining taking
is
it
a
off
bad
the
idea.
dock and it just dying. Like,
That is part of what I'm thinking. Like, if this isn't on the dock, you got 2 seconds.
Yeah.
put it on
Especially
another
the-
dock.
If you're not putting it on another dock, just put me back.
Yeah.
It's not going to be worth your time.
Then it's really the Sega Game Gear.
Yeah, right.
Yep. That'll be
But yeah,
interesting.
when I kind of have been leaning towards it, I don't think the Switch 2, at least at first, or at least depending on the game, you don't want to take it off that dock, big dog.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a lot to improve the Switch's battery life
Yeah.
over the life of the Switch.
And it did
you
get a
know,
bigger battery in this one,
Yeah.
or so they say.
Yeah.
It has room for one at least.
Yeah.
So it should be.
Yeah, but bigger battery means you got to be doing everything this for a bigger
Right,
battery
yeah.
to equal more time.
yes.
You got to be doing everything the same.
Yeah.
So
Got it.
I mean, I am very interested to see.
Yeah.
Hearing that it has ray tracing shifts my biggest concern from do the things break off to does it play games for more than 15 seconds?
Right.
That is a big concern.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
A large concern.
yeah. But
I
there's
think they're
USB-C
doing stuff
everywhere.
with AI
Yeah.
and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff with that though too. I know the stuff that I had seen about it. I think prior, just a while ago, but they were saying that like because like something they cooked up in that is just like really efficient with the Switch's hardware. Or whatever, like so, it doesn't operate the same way as it does on a PC or whatever. Like with a regular, like it's operating in a different way, or it's using AI to do calculations or whatever.
It's the stuff that they implemented in the 50 series, the 50 series.
Okay.
Stuff.
Okay.
to like really efficiency bumps it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but still, battery melt in your hands,
yeah,
not in your mouth.
yeah.
Ooh.
Don't put your Switch in your mouth.
Definitely not the cartridges. Definitely. And also, just to be clear, also not batteries. Just
Yeah,
don't put
no
batteries in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're testing a 9-volt.
Right. Yeah. But if your space heater
don't know that.
goes out, or your
You
heat,
can-
you
you-
put it on your tongue.
You can put a 9-volt on your tongue to charge whether or not it's got charge or not, because it's enough
shock
voltage.
you.
It's enough voltage to feel the tinglies.
Yes, you go.
You never done that?
No.
Shouldn't have done that. Just a boy, poor little feather. Yeah. But yeah, if your space heater goes out or something like that, just boot up your Switch 2 and stick it under a blanket. You'll be good.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be great
Yeah.
for 15 seconds. It's gonna die.
15 seconds of warmth. You'll need it.
Yeah. So it's cool.
Warm one
Switch 2
tub.
is looking cooler and cooler.
And that's,
Yeah.
I mean, so their next big thing's in April.
Yeah.
Or- okay.
For the end of April.
6?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
I thought it was
I thought it was like 425.
Okay.
25 or
Right.
something, but maybe I've just mixed the year with the date.
Okay.
I
maybe.
Is it early April?
I don't know. I don't remember. I think
It's definitely April.
It's
it's,
different.
no, it's
April.
April. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then question mark, and then the year
Jan-
2025.
They-
Yeah.
Who? Where?
Said April.
I thought we were on the network.
Yeah, so we're April for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was still a
So-
direct though coming too, yeah.
I think
That is the direct.
That-
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
So the direct is April.
The
But-
direct
but,
is
you're saying
April.
that they may just go ahead and
The
flippity-floppy.
It's
rumor-
an
Drop.
announcing drop.
The
Gotcha,
rumor. The
gotcha.
Get in
rumor
your
is
car!
that- The rumor is that it might be an announcing drop.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, specifically dealing with the fact that they have no way to solve the bot state of,
Yeah.
of the internet right now.
Very true.
Because you don't.
No, you
Yeah.
don't. No, you don't.
Damn you, internet!
Yeah. That's there's a little bit of news around that. PokemonCenter.com implemented queues to try and combat bots.
Sure.
yeah.
Which doesn't
bots,
work
yes.
because bots don't wait in queues
Nope.
because
Yeah.
they're not actually people.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that PokemonCenter.com state. But looks like all that's going to happen is you're going to wait in a queue and then everything will be sorted out.
Gotcha. Perfect. Excellent. Time to play Lorcana, bud. Let's go.
I have one starter deck.
Yeah.
Rachel and I still need to talk.
Um,
Oh, no, you come up here on Sunday, I will be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Okay. I like it.
I have to get cards first,
yeah.
Oh, I have to send you a list of cards.
and then I have to battle with my wife. If she sees a Disney card in the house, she's gonna be, what the fuck is that?
We talked about
That
this.
is not a Pokemon card.
A second game.
Listen, I'm dialing the one back so that we can put some resources into the other. They're both part of the thing.
Just send the cards home with me.
Right,
And then I'll
yes,
keep
you'll
them in a
bring
little
them back.
box, and then I'll bring them back.
You can hold this.
Rachel, can you hold my
Yes.
You gonna be a
Oh, they moved Pokemon to Sunday.
Guys, we're recording this. And it
I know.
goes on
It's
the
a
internet.
joke.
Yeah, I know.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that I want to learn for sure. I've been reading up on it and stuff recently
super
just to kind of understand it more. Just because it's nothing like Pokemon.
It is nothing.
No, it's
Right.
nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the slightest.
So yeah, just kind of looking into that. But like I said, I'm just trying to. I didn't know if we were going to get into the TCG stuff.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It begs the question that I had asked everybody.
Yeah.
which is,
Same
We'll
way.
talk more about it.
I'm curious of a couple things, but I'd be most curious to learn like when to start. When did everybody enter the TCG space like somewhat competitively? Like not just learning at home, but like when did you start like
Or
play,
collecting the games.
or like when did you start playing quote unquote for real?
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's going to be. Do you want to go? Because
I'll go
I
first.
think
You
you.
go first.
I feel like
despite the youngest at the table, I think
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Tremaine the longest,
yeah.
right?
Well, not necessarily.
Okay.
So I've played Pokemon my whole life, but while my cousins were getting into the actual competitiveness, me and my father stayed home. So
Okay.
I learned a lot about how to play and how to build,
Okay.
Sure.
but I didn't get into like competitive until like 23,
Okay.
Okay.
like 2023, not me being 20. Well, I guess it's the same answer for both. Actually.
Okay. That's staggering.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But my first.
Oh,
Is that the thing again?
it might be the thing again, which is an interesting
check the
thing.
thing.
that I
It's
don't
super
understand,
early
but
now.
Yeah.
Hold on. We're good. Everything's fine. Anyway, continue. Trey.
Yeah,
Sorry about
we're
that.
going. Everything's good.
Um,
Everything's good.
Okay. Cool.
But I didn't get into competitive until my first regional was in Indianapolis. I've been to like challenges and cups and stuff. But
Yeah.
like, I don't really count those. 'Cause, like, I don't take it as seriously as one should.
But we're
you're
still
still
trying to
playing-
beat somebody
But you're still
to
playing
win.
organized.
Yeah.
An organized
Yeah.
event. Yeah. Yeah.
There's
No,
still a victor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess that's a different answer. I've been playing competitive for a long time.
There you
Okay.
go.
So then, yeah.
But I still never took it serious because I never, for lack of a better term, I don't like playing with Pokemon with people who know how to play Pokemon.
Okay.
You just like to run over people that don't know how to.
No,
play
not
Pokemon.
because I don't know how to really play Pokemon.
Oh,
That's
okay,
the issue.
Gotcha. you
So-
know how to play
So
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Here's my example.
Yeah,
Okay.
Go.
Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an insult, so I don't think he'll care if I say his name.
Oh, he's
But
so
when I
good.
played him last week, we didn't, not the week before last,
Mm-hmm.
but we didn't talk about Pokemon while playing Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like Pokemon enough to talk about it. I just know how to play it.
I like
like the
playing
game.
Jesse just because when we're done with the game, he tells me everything I did wrong and how I can be better. It's the best. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, at least he does it in like a healthier way.
Oh,
no, it's absolutely
like a
healthy.
super friendly.
Yeah, he's not like, yeah, you made a
way.
mistake, you suck.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he's
Is he
definitely like,
saying,
dude,
like,
you should try
oh-
this instead of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
you should try to do this. You never want to go to this on your prizes because if you go to that, then it's really hard to get to. You know, like it's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
like, dude, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know,
Yeah.
But
learn a lot from that game.
Yep.
what kept me out of like full competitive is the unhealthy side of
Sure.
people. Like I don't know the exact guy's name, but it was like an Instagram reel I saw. It was like how it feels to play against a control player. And it was like the most, you know, that kid from like Polar Express where he was,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
that dude,
Yeah.
You know what kind of train we're on?
that shit.
Yeah.
And they're not a lot of people like that,
Yeah.
but it's enough to run into them often.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you're going to have that with anything, though.
And I don't like it.
I know.
Yeah.
And I fall back.
Well, control's a legitimate strategy.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is.
It is. But,
But that doesn't mean we want to play people.
As long as
Yes.
you're attacking.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Stall control. Get out of here with that.
Yeah.
We're not playing for ties.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody's winning this game.
Right. Yeah.
I'll let
And by God, it'll be
I'll
me.
let attacking control slide.
Bleeding
Yeah.
from my eyes,
But, like,
it will be me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My beef with stall control
Oh yeah.
Okay.
is
Yeah.
this can't be fun for you, right?
yeah.
Just a real quick tangent. If the goal of your deck is that neither one of us are playing the game we
Yeah.
both showed up
And
to
that's
play,
my problem. How is this fun?
Right.
I love this. If we're both passing right now.
that is
Yeah.
the equivalent of going to your friend's house and be like, "Hey, you want to play GoldenEye?" and going, "Yeah," and then just hitting pause on both of your controllers and slapping their hand anytime they try to
Put it
pick
down.
No.
Yeah.
No. You're just gonna stare at it.
Yeah.
Stare at the screen.
And you're like, "Okay, all right. I guess this was a bop. You're right. Fine."
It's been great seeing you.
Yeah.
Had a terrible time.
Don't call me next week.
Yeah.
Man,
I am leaving.
if you invite me to this house one more time, it's gonna be me and you, and mostly me.
Yeah. And then you download the pause music and we'll listen to it on the way home.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
for
be-
sure.
Yeah.
Did you play Control against anyone this weekend?
Are we counting Badu Dragapult?
No.
No.
Then no.
Okay. Well, as I played,
Because I miss Link. I
played Link.
didn't want to be a part of that.
But again, it wasn't. I mean, it's bad if you have like a Terra deck or anything that's like specifically bad
Yeah.
against what he's got going. But he still has to set up. But he's still trying to attack.
Right.
Did he attack me at all? I don't know. Like I had a good matchup because the Future Box
Yeah.
was a good matchup for him because I just put a bunch of Miraidons in play.
Yeah.
Because I basically could just keep attacking him with the Miraidons
That's true.
because
Yeah.
it couldn't be whatever.
Attack is solid.
And then and then Gusting and Hansing are doing what I can't remember. I know he made us. Oh no, it was the Farigarath that he had messed up.
Yeah.
But it was still. I liked that deck because like you said, like at least he's ramping up to attack. He's attaching
Yeah.
energies and like getting this. He's just trying to stop you from being able to attack.
Yeah, I mean, I think attacking control is really like coming to the table and saying like, I'm going to tie one of my hands behind my back and see if I can figure out a way to beat you,
Right.
Sure.
Because the whole mechanic there is to go none of this stuff should be able to knock you out. Right? I'm just going to try and control your hands, your player board state, your discard pile enough to make this 40 HP attack
Right. Yeah.
chip away at you until
Right.
you don't exist. And it is frustrating to be handled, right?
Yeah.
Like it is I get that, but you got to be able to step back and be like, man, like I think I was talking to you about it. Like it's a little bit of a David and Goliath situation when control decks set up.
Yeah.
Because like they shouldn't be able. That's what's frustrating about it. Is
Yeah.
it shouldn't be able to beat you,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Now there are some control stuff like that 151 Venomoth that's just like, hey, you're
The
paralyzed
paralysis.
and you can't
Yeah.
you can't play item cards. Like
yeah.
some of it's just like,
Yeah.
but that's control stall where it's just like.
Yeah.
Right.
Neither one of us are playing this game.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Like, I'm not attacking you. This
Yeah.
attack does 0 damage to
Yeah.
you. And you can't now attack me. And also, you can't take most of your turn.
Right.
And
Yeah.
aren't we
Yeah.
having fun?
Yeah.
No!
No.
And that's because my beef is because I'm going to be frustrated against that deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if all we're doing is you doing that and and
Yeah.
I'm passing,
Yeah.
and we keep doing this,
Yeah.
Deep breaths.
I'm going to prison.
Right. The goal is to get you to concede because you're not having fun.
Like,
Right.
I'm-
Yeah.
And that's just not the vibe.
That's not the vibe.
No, that's not playing
and
the
that's
But I don't think I think the majority, I think the reason even though that Venomoth is extremely effective,
Yeah.
I don't think the reason we see them, reason that's in a bunch of control stuff is because, people played it when it came out and they, everybody built that deck.
Yeah.
And they did it, once and they're like, ew.
Yeah. They're like,
normal people were like, ew.
Yeah.
And then the others.
Sure. I mean, yeah, but I think that the competitive community does a good enough job going that just doesn't
Yeah.
feel
It
fun.
feels
I don't
icky.
want to
Yeah.
I don't want to win that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Dusk Noir, all the stuff about Dusk Noir being banned and all that stuff, Dusk Noir didn't feel bad
It's not
to
that
do,
bad.
right? You set up, you burnt a rare candy, you got
Yeah.
this thing off, and you're trading in a weird way. And it's
Yeah.
bam, okay, I'm doing some stuff,
Yeah.
right? and so we have all the toxicity around it. Everybody's like, this it sucks when it happens to you, but it feels good when you do it. And so
a lot of times you're using Dust Noir to get some damage on something massive like a Dragon or something. So not only like I get it, you're gonna take this 2-prizer, but you're also giving me a prize. You know, in that turn. So it's like if I still have something else set up, it's like, you know, you're helping me get to the end faster, right?
Yeah.
As like time has passed on Dust Noir, I realize it's more maneuverability rather than a dick move.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it opened you up to counter catcher. I lost to a fire Briar play with it.
Yeah.
So like I get it.
Yeah.
I understand Dust Noir more than I understand Control now.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think Control is a certain type of player that likes that challenge, right? I mean, like one of the most prevalent Control decks right now is the Iron Thorns EX, right? Which turns off all your EX's abilities unless they're future type Pokemon. High five!
Next format's our format, baby.
But then runs those 4. No.
He's gonna go with the boo.
Please don't boo. Please don't put my
They're so cute though.
And so,
Sorry.
and but if that deck runs 4 Pokemon and Mully's like 8 times, you like talk about tying your hands behind your back. It's just like, hey, how would you like twice as many starting cards as you normally get?
Not to mention, it only does what 120
it does
damage.
But I would call Iron Thorns an attacking control.
It is an attacking control. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I would let that one slide.
Yeah, that's when I say like I don't look at that and go like that's a toxic level of competition, right? And I'm longtime Pokemon fan, video game fan, card collector. You know, I started playing competitively because my eldest when she was 8 was like, I want to play Pokemon, and I was like, okay, and so we went to a place and played Pokemon, and then we eventually wound up here, and so like I've been on the fringes collecting and looking at cards and going like, I understand how all this works. And I think I told you, like, I played base set, went to a Toys R Us. I was the only teenager there, and I was like, okay. And Wizards at that point in time was like, you should play Magic if you. And so I was like, so I started playing Magic, and so I've played TCGs, never as competitive as I am now, and never really competitively in any way until I'd say, well, I mean, I'm not very competitive, but I'm very competitive as a person, just to be very clear.
Right.
I don't consider myself very competitive as a TCG player, from a state of like, you don't sit down across from me and be like, oh shit, I gotta play Drew. Right. So I guess there's a dual meaning here. Like, I want to win. I want to do good. I want to cook a deck that is really competitive. Like, you guys have all heard me say at this point in time in the Pokemon space, like, I wish I could get Oops All Dragons into better players' hands. Because I really do think that, like, it creates such an interesting catch-22 on the space, and, like, it sets up really well. It's weirdly consistent. It's just me misplaying it. Anytime I've lost with it, and I haven't lost with it that much. Like, Link's the only one that...
Send me a list. Send me a list.
Yeah. I think I posted it when I built it.
Back.
And I haven't changed it much since then. So I'll have to
just put it
see
in
what
the
the list is. Yeah. But like, I mean, I think for me, like, coming into TCGs, playing TCGs competitive or playing games competitive has been, we talked about like Team Fortress 2 and Uber Melons. That's back into like 07, right? And like Halo had the MLG, and that was like proto esports in a way. I mean, esports is much, much older than like what esports is now. Right? Like high schools having esports teams and things like that is a completely different level. But like, I've always cared about being good at something that I am doing against somebody else. And so I have a deep competitive streak. However, I bounced around team sports, soccer, hockey, and like cared about being good at them until I wound up at the sports that was just like me in a lane by myself.
Right, yeah.
Wrestling wasn't good for me because any sort of violent stuff, and it was just like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there's rules. So that was like a quick course correct. We were like, we're not doing that one.
Right, yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah, and so like, but like I ended up swimming stuck along the longest. I'd always been a big swimmer, but that was like that ended up being like my competitive high school sport that I stuck with. Right,
Okay.
I dropped
Nice.
hockey, I dropped soccer, and I stuck with swimming because that was just me in a lane getting better by myself,
Yep.
right next to somebody who was also trying to beat me.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, the only person I had to be like upset with or proud of at the end of, and I did end up like going to states and stuff with a relay team, but that was like small enough. And even still, my portion was the only portion
you,
I had
yeah.
control of, right? Like I was going to go in and I was going to swim my portion of that race as fast as I could, as good as I could, and then whatever happened as a team happens as a team. But and then later, CrossFit ends up being it, and that's very much so the same thing. It's you in a lane with somebody next to it, just going like, how heavy can I move the weights fast?
Right, yeah.
How fast can I move the heavy weights?
Yeah.
Right.
I said that wrong, but exercise racing, as I like to
Without
call it.
losing
Exercise
form
racing.
and
yeah.
leaving in a wheelchair. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so, for whatever reason, competitive TCGs scratches that same itch.
Yeah.
Right? Very much like I'm in a lane. This is me. We are actively against each other in this, but like most of what's going to happen is going to be how well do I do this by myself?
Right.
Like how
do you execute?
How well do I execute?
Yeah,
right?
how well I
Like,
play.
or I'm gonna get beat because you did your side better than me,
Right.
And then
Or luck top drop. Yeah.
Yeah.
lucky
yeah,
drops.
I think the reason that I gravitate to Pokemon the most, and all TCG players play this that have played across it, is Pokemon has the most tutoring of any TCG, right? Like, a lot of it's the thing that like most people consider what's so chaotic about it, but like. Pokemon is just like, oh, this card lets me go in and get 15 things that I would like, right?
Right.
Or at least the compounding effects, like
Right.
like Arven into an item, into a tool, into a
secret
and,
box,
right?
Right,
And it's like, okay, I played this one card. I got to search my deck 15 times during this turn, pull cards out that I wanted to set up and go. So like, yeah, you can have a bad top deck. Pokemon deals with that more in the prizes, right? Like prizes is what can actually kill you in a Pokemon game.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think the thing that separates me from being great is all the tutoring that exists in Pokemon as a game is how well you use those deck searches, how well you know what's in there, how well you see all the different lines to success. Because I do think Pokemon is the one that gives you the most lines to success. You can have an absolutely abysmal starting hand that in another game would just be a brick. Right? And go...
It's gonna buddy you for 4 turns, and then we'll go.
And I think it's the reason that Pokemon doesn't have an optional mulligan, right? Like, I think the balance of Pokemon changes with an optional mulligan. I would like to see what happens. I think it'd be fun to like dip our toe in that water and just see what happens. But I really think that's then going to extremely separate the competitive players from the not competitive players. Because at that point in time, you're going to be able to go into that hand and go like, boop, 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 throw those back in and this, and you're gonna, it's gonna be a while. Even with the like, even if it was like whatever you mulligan away, you're giving them in draw. Right? Like, which is the most, I think, fair way you could do that in Pokemon. Like, you pull your 7, you go, okay, I'm changing these 4 out, and it's now not you get a single top deck draw, you get 4,
Yeah.
you know, starting hands, that'd be like maybe the only way that it could. Because, again, there's just so much tutor in Pokemon.
But giving more cards to your opponent is always bad in Pokemon.
Right.
Just because of how much you can go into the decks and all that stuff.
Exactly.
They just need one card missing, like, and if they don't have it in their hand or whatever, and you give it to them, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the Iona risk, right?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you make them discard their hand and draw 2 cards? Because the 5 that they have in their hand might not be the 2 that they wanted to grab off the top.
Yeah.
It's
Checks and balances.
it's interesting.
Got that end stream this week, baby.
Yeah.
Rock Iona'd me to 1 into a boss's orders.
Yeah.
It's the only way I could have won that turn.
Yeah.
It's wild.
He's like, is that a boss's orders? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, good, I'm gonna hit you.
You did it.
Yeah, it's kind of. Oh,
No. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
what the itches that competitive scratches for me, because the way I learned how to play is just building random shit.
Okay.
So I build random. It's like it's protecting my ego. I build random deck. Whether I come in and do well or do terrible means nothing. Whether I win, I gain everything. If I lose, okay, you beat a Serena Joltik build.
That's it. I do the same thing.
You want a cookie?
I do the same thing, but
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, that's what like building decks and coming in and playing them does for me in terms of my competitive. It's scratching my creative competitiveness and it's scratching my TCG competitiveness because nothing happens to me.
Right.
Everything that happens is a positive for me. I've learned that, hey, this is not a good idea.
Sure.
Or I might have something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always thought that's always fun for me.
Yeah.
Especially when I beat like a sore loser or something like that.
Well, especially with like your family being so like in the competitive space. Like talking about Jesse, like one of the things I love about playing Jesse is exactly that like rundown of like, oh, you could have done this or you could have done that and all that sort of stuff. And like really one of the most competitive players I ran into that first is your cousin. It was at like pre-release too. So it wasn't even like like pre-release is the least competitive format.
Yeah.
And it was super friendly. It wasn't like it on the toxic side of it at all, but it was very much no more key light.
The shit in me.
Yeah. But like it was so astute, so involved in the way the game was playing. It was like it was this turn, it was this card you played,
right,
and then had like tracked the like 3 or 4 remaining turns that I took, and went like when you did that, but you had this in hand because you played it next turn. There's no reason you would have top decked that and then played it because it was like saw the lines for you and was like, here's how you could do it. So like growing up with access to that, did that change the way you looked at competitive playing? No.
It's always because I guess of my whole family being players.
Yeah.
I think that's what turns me away from like full competitive.
Okay.
Because I associate Pokemon with good times.
Yeah.
And the more competitive it gets, the more the good times go away.
I am so with you on that. That's where I struggle. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
What I've found about myself as I age is that, like, when I was younger, I was super competitive. I played basketball, was team captain. I was like 6 inches taller than everybody when I was in 6th grade, which is hilarious in hindsight because I'm really not that tall. But like basketball was my thing and I played team sports. And I realized like nobody wants to do the things that we're supposed to do to be good. And I had to like turn that off because then I turned into an asshole. And I was like, ooh, I don't like this about me. I ended up ultimately quitting basketball for other reasons, but I also shot competitive archery at the same time.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, sick. I love archery. It's very fun. But it is a very different skill set. My father is an excellent marksman. He is a world competitor in his previous life as a younger man in archery, so he trained me.
Nice.
He was my coach, and I coached with another guy. So I was very competitive, but it was all about myself.
Yeah.
And that was the game that gave me the most satisfaction, because if I made a mistake that led to me not making an X ring, that was my technique. That was my bad form.
Right.
That was my fault. And I could go, I know what I did wrong there, and pivot and be able to go, okay, yes, I still made it in the 10 ring, but it wasn't a dead X. So I know what I did wrong. Right. So like when you're looking at a target, you can still get 10 points without it being perfect. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So point is that like, as I started to pivot away from basketball and become more focused on archery, and then like, I was like, okay, this gives me more satisfaction because it is just me holding myself accountable for my skill set.
Yeah.
And like, what I've found to continue to be true is that has translated into video gaming for me.
Right.
And so like entering in the TCG space a year ago, basically, like completely. And I just started playing just to learn a game. Right.
Yeah.
And then a few of my friends who played Magic throughout the years were also like, I was teasing them to play Lorcana because they were like, no, I'm not playing any Magic. I'm not playing anything that's even close to Magic. And now they're like, give me Disney. And they want to like, they're consuming all of it, which is hilarious. But they were like, you should play a set championship. I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
They're like, you should do it. Let's see. And so I enter this competitive TCG space. And what I find is that even though there is plenty of skill to this game, do not get me wrong. I know it takes a ton of skill. There is enough of a luck element that makes me go, I don't want to compete.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, the decks, the other players.
Like
the decks, like the teammates.
Yeah. So like when I am looking at if I'm playing against other people, what I'm saying is when I know what the math is.
Yeah.
I know my lines. I know how the deck should work. But the luck component to TCG,
you can't correct the problem.
I can't correct that problem.
Right.
And
that makes a mistake you made.
And so I go, I didn't fuck this up. The cards did.
Okay.
And so that is what takes the fun out of it for me, is that I'm like, I can't improve my bad luck.
Right.
I can improve.
Did you bring your lucky rabbits?
I have 3 coins. I threw the salt over my shoulders.
Yeah.
And so.
I have the 4-leaf clover.
And so that to me though also goes, it's less serious. So my brain says this is not very serious. So then I enter a space where everybody else is like, this is so fucking serious.
Right.
And that is always my vibe at set champs, is like, as a whisper, did you see what the fuck is going on over here at this table?
Yeah.
Did you see what that guy's running over there? It's really scary. It's scary. And like, so for me, I'm just like, this is cardboard and we'll see. And the more competitive it gets, the less I'm interested, because I'm like, there have been plenty of set champs where I've held my own and done well. Yeah. And I've been proud of, how well I did get myself out of sticky situations, because again, this is luck to a certain degree, right? And if I pull the right cards, et cetera, but like at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my God, it is not that serious. Because you're still gambling. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so like, that's where I personally go, I don't know if I love playing the game, but I don't know if I belong in the very competitive space of it. I don't know if I fit in there, because that's where I struggle. So like, I'm great playing organized play. That's less serious. Right. That doesn't feel as tough, but like, I have just said, I'm not playing the set champs. Yeah. Like I'm taking a little bricky break. I'm good on it, because the past few times that I've seen, the last time specifically that I was at set champs, which is wild, because we played with 9 people and all you need to do is take top 8 to get a promo card. Right. Still felt like we are like the level of like adrenaline that you should have was like running away from a bear. Sure. I'm like, holy fuck, like it is, wow, like this does not feel that serious to me, but that's just that's a me experience, right? Because like I know the whole reason I'm competitive with myself. I play video games on a more increasing difficulty every time I play them, because I know that I've honed a skill set to be able to complete it at X level.
Sure.
Right.
And if I enjoyed the game enough to play it again, I'm increasing that difficulty because I want to challenge my own skill set. Because I do take pride in certain video gaming as a skill set.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And so like
Yeah.
so that's my take. That's my hot take.
I think what's really interesting about the way you framed all of that is like, you left basketball because you can't control the other players.
Yeah.
You then have the deck, which is
The other players.
right? You can't control the other players.
Yeah.
I almost have the opposite, like, opinion of why most people that like solo competition are drawn to the TCG space of like, but obviously it's spectrum. People can be bounced off,
Right.
But it's always nice to be able to blame something else.
Sure.
That
I just bricked.
Okay.
you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying,
Like,
yeah.
like it's not. Oh, it wasn't that I played it wrong. It's just
Yeah.
that my starting hand like was terrible. Like the
Right.
amount of times I hear it, and you guys will hear me like in the shop say it a lot. Like there's always a line to win,
Right. Yeah.
right? Like I treat the space kind of like solitaire. Like
Okay.
every game's winnable, right?
Okay.
On your end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
No other player on your end, every game's winnable. There's a way, if nobody does anything to you, there was a way to you to get to what you needed to have, especially in Pokemon.
Sure.
There's a way to get it to happen. It's just the pace that they're doing it. How are they going to interface? How are they controlling what you're doing?
Right.
That's what makes it a competition in between you and somebody else.
Sure. Yeah.
I've eliminated myself from being able to say, like, I just lost that because my deck was bad.
Right.
I might have lost it because they drew exactly what they needed the turn they needed to win. I might have lost it because I played an Iono and Ionoed them into one and they got the boss they needed and then beat
Right.
me.
Yeah.
Right? But that's still me making a misplay, right?
Right.
Or my favorite one was best of 3, Baltimore. I win game 1. Game 2, I scoop. It's just not going my way. Game 3, my opponent literally says, unless this is a Tinkaton, I'm playing against a Tinkaton.
Sure.
And he goes, I'm going to Iono. Unless this is a Tinkaton and a rare candy, I'm scooping. I have no way to victory. He picks it up and he goes, I'm so sorry. And
Tinkaton, rare
it's
candy.
like Tinkaton rare candy back in the game,
Right.
And he ends up winning,
Yeah.
right? And like, did I play anything wrong? No, the deck was more favorable to him, and
The water is
and yeah, the water is back.
The water is
and
They can't.
and-
returning character. Yes.
and like, but that's an awesome moment.
No, it's
right?
very cool.
And it's cool to see happen, and you like that. But like, I've just kind of eliminated myself from, and again, in Pokemon, I do think that that's more of an element in games like Lorcana and Star Wars and Magic, where it really is like, I mean, especially in Lorcana. Lorcana, I think, has a little bit of a draw problem still in the
Yes.
general meta. Like the amount of Lorcana games that it's just like accepted that you'll be going to down to top decking. Like, where universally, I think everybody kind of in TCG space agrees that if you're top decking, that is bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Lorcana's got
Is this
that.
one good? No.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this one good? No.
There can be a lot of that.
There
Yeah.
can be a lot of that. I think they're
Good to know.
getting there.
It's getting better.
I think the sets that they're at now, it's mostly solved, but there's even. I still saw a lot of matches
That
at the
problem's
set championship going like you're
still
top
very
decking,
much
and they're like,
exists.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That problem is still very real. It is improving, but
Yeah.
Lorcana is still in a place where it's like if you have cards that allow you to draw, card draw is everything.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Period. Point blank. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, and so I mean, I like as the shop in our communities. I think a lot of it comes down to the community, right? I don't feel like at our set championship,
No.
that was the vibe.
Nope.
I made a joke about it, and you can watch our stream. I made a joke about it that once we went to Top Cut,
Sure.
it was the vibe,
Yes.
right? Because you've got 4. We top cut to 4, and I mean, it was 4 very focused, and
Right,
so
yeah.
like but then like the moment the games were done, they were all joking. They were doing kind of that thing that we're talking about, like, oh, when you did this, I think I was thinking maybe it was going to go this way. I thought you had me when you did this, but then I top decked, you know, and so like. That's the stuff I think in the competitive space, especially that is just like so interesting in TCG, because that is the person you just said, like, if you're putting it in battle terms, that's the person you just went out there to kill.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, you know what I mean? And like, if you're talking about like being super competitive, like I was just here to beat you. Right.
Yeah.
And in all versions of like what this space looks like, right? When it is functioning properly, right? And when it is not, that like the game goes, everybody has fun, and then it's like, hey, let's talk. Like, like how'd that go? Oh, when you did this, you did this. No, I'm not saying that everybody behaves that way in the space. No. I'm not saying that that's 100% of competitive players. But even all the way, it'd be ways, and it's so prevalent that even all the way up in like Pokemon at regionals, and I hear a very similar thing about, about the Lorcana. What are they called? The
like
regional.
I know what you're talking.
Atlanta and Chicago.
I can't think of what they're called.
I want to call them DCIs, but I don't think that's right.
That's the big game.
Yeah, it's their regionals that have 3,000 some people playing it, or 1,500. Ours have 3,000, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I even found that there was an enormous amount of people still just having fun, right? And that's why I think like, hey, listen, if you're mentally not there, you're sick, you're not treating yourself well enough.
Right.
You go 0-3, drop. If you don't, play it out. See that experience, have that fun, realize that at the end of the day, right? Like, we're playing the children's pocket monster game, right? Or we're playing the Disney princess game, right? Like as I think Nick was the one that said, like, hey, we're playing the princess game, at the end of the day, like,
take a breath.
I think there's something to that, and
I agree.
There are maybe communities that lose sight of that, maybe that they don't exist. I don't experience them. We don't really foster them here.
No.
There is one TCG that we just stay away from because even the non-toxic players that come from that community or still actively engage in it, they're like, it's rotten to the core.
You don't want to.
It stinks.
Please sell me the cards, but you don't need to have it. And then most of them play Pokemon or Lorcana on the side. And so I think it's interesting, like the type of people. But I wonder if we're striking on something like, is it universally people that like to be competitive in their lane? Like, is it not to call us not team players, but basically that is it the people that you know?
No, I think you're onto something there for sure, because like at the end of the day, I still like playing Lorcana, like and I do like the competitive. I do enjoy the competitive space because at the end of the day, this is in my control, right? Yeah. Like this is my thing. And to your point, did I play well or not? Sidebar: my experience has also been that some of the best players I've ever played against are the ones that are the chillest, and the people who are really maybe not super strong players or just having a bad day are the biggest dicks.
Sure.
Like that has always people, I've seen backpacks thrown across the room because of a loss. Like, it's just weird shit. That I'm like, what was that? For the Disney Princess game?
Yeah.
For the Disney Princess game, we go through our backpack with
Elsa
our
and Aurora doing battle.
Chill, dude. You got Mickey and Hey on your team, bruh.
Like, great example is I've played against Bobby and I've had him mollywallop me, and he was like, hey, that was a great game. I'm like, you kicked my ass, but thank you.
I can't walk.
So anyway, point is that I do think that there's something to be said for this type of game.
Yeah.
And my question is always just going to be, I don't know that I'm super competitive against another person either. That's a me thing though.
Sure.
I don't feel good having kicked somebody's ass. Like when I mollywallop somebody, I'm like, sorry.
Oh, sure.
But I also see people mollywallop somebody and go,
yeah.
You thought.
So but that's not where it's not what does it for me.
Well, and I don't think it does it for most people.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, especially even in this space. Like, every game I've ever had that happening to me or been the one dealing out to, like, the vibe is like, I'm sorry. You know, like, hey, this is just not working out for you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm going to do this as this. You're going to get it. And they're like, yeah, you know, like,
I'm getting everything I need.
yeah, I'm getting everything. You're not getting everything.
Yeah.
Like, it just is what it is.
Right.
I think everybody's here to have that close back and forth, like to see that in that space, that interaction happen, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. I will say though that, like, and maybe this is because I host events weekly on an organized play level, I consider showing up to those organized play events. Like, if you're not just sitting in your house and going like, will somebody come over and play Lorcana with me? Right? Like, if you're going out to an event that's going to be prized out, that is going to put a list on the board and go like, hey, this person came in first, this person came in second. Like, you're engaging in competitiveness. Yes, it's at the extremely local level. It's at the community level. But I draw that back to almost like my CrossFit experience, right? Like, you can show up to class and go like, I want to finish first today, like in class amongst the 16 people that are in this gym right now. Or you can be like, I want to be top 100 in the open, right? Yeah. Those are the same sport at the same level. It's just what is your goal, right?
Yeah.
And this still maintains that, right? That a team sport doesn't. Like, you can't be like, I want to stop one goal this game as the goalie on my soccer team. And it's like, no, dude, like, you need to stop all the goals. They scored 14 goals on us.
But I got one.
You stopped one.
It was with my face.
You can't do that, right? But like, you can go to a regional and be like, I want to win a match. And go like, okay, check, cool. Next. I want to win a game, right? Okay, cool, right? And like,
I want to get to day 2.
I want to get to day 2. And you can move that in the same exact way.
Absolutely.
Or like, I want to go to my local and I want to win a cup. I want to win a challenge. I want to win a cup. I want to go 4-0. Like, whatever it is, you still get to set that goal of what progress and success looks like, and have people that are actively trying to do the same in the same space, and everybody's lifting each other up at the same time while they're doing it, right? And so that's what I like about the competitive TCG space.
I agree. I think benchmark individual progress is part of what keeps me interested, right? Is like knowing, okay, did I at least win a full match today? Like, did I take a game? Right? Okay, great. That's all I wanted to do today. That's all. You know, especially if it's something I homebrewed, right?
Tell me about it. To kind of piggyback on that, like the benchmarking progress, and I'm kind of on that road currently. Yeah. Because like I was telling, like I said a couple weeks ago, went to Indy, didn't do well. 03 dropped with Charizard because I didn't care. Right. Went 3-6 in Baltimore with Serena. Yeah. That because how well could my homebrew do? You know, that's right. Yeah. But now going in, playing for Milwaukee, I'm like, you know what? I want to win a record. Yeah. Sure. That's my goal for Milwaukee. If it turns into a day 2, it turns into a day 2. If it don't, it don't. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
You got to settle on a deck and put time in.
That is going to be the rough one. I do have the intentions to do that. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Homebrew on the weekends and then
I will have to. I have to be serious on the weekend.
Serious on the weekends.
Homebrew on the weekdays.
Okay. Yeah.
I have to play TCG Live.
Okay. Fine. I will say that I played a lot of TCG Live this week, and Budoos were not a problem.
Yeah, I never thought it was going to be a hyper big problem. It doesn't do any damage. It's got to stay out and attack. And guess what happens when it stays out and attacks? You got a 30 HP Pokemon sitting there. Somebody's got to fart in its general direction and they've got a prize card.
I will say I've taken multiple wins now, like having put the psychic energies in my future deck because I just put it on crowns and then I sniped 2 of their Budoos off the bench for 2 prizes. Like, sorry, dude. Yeah. You put them on the bench. Bye. Yeah. So it's nice having those options too. But if we're circling back, did everyone go on when their TCGs? I started in May last year, so I'm very new to TCGs. I love it. I do love playing, but I do like I'm at the like at there. I went through stages. So the beginning was I suck. That's why I'm losing, right?
Right.
You know, because I don't know what I'm doing. That's why I'm losing. And then it was I'm not. You know, I don't really know what these people are playing. I don't understand their decks. I don't know the lines yet. So that's on me. I'm still kind of learning those things. And then I was like, well. Whatever. Let's just jump forward to where I'm like, I don't play meta decks so that when I lose, I'm like, no, I wasn't playing a meta deck.
Yeah.
That's why I lost.
Same way,
lost. You know, that said, you know, like this weekend, I took on 2 Charizard decks and beat them both. Luckily, they had slow starts, and the one was the Molly Wallop, which I felt bad about, but she was just trying to get back into the game, so it is what it is. But again. She only had one thing on the bench, and I had an Iron Bundle. I'm like, pull it up. And then I took out the Charmander. And then she put another Charmander, and I'm like, I'm a boss. And then I took out the, you know, like, so like,
Yeah.
she just had no shot getting anything going.
Right.
But like, it was just, but still, so it felt good, especially like this weekend, because it was kind of a homebrew. Like, at least half of the deck was mine. So which was good.
I would say at this stage, no one is running Future Box. So like, even if you're taking an old list and putting new cards in it, it's gonna be a heavy.
Yes,
it's gonna be a.
It
heavy
still needs
homebrew.
tweaked. That's kind of what sucks about loving like the off meta decks that aren't doing well, because like they don't get the play or practice or time to find what's optimal.
You don't have the hive mind.
You don't. Yeah, you don't have the hive mind.
Minus one of these and plus one of these, and you're like, okay, awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
When we're talking to guys in here, it's like, oh, you're playing Charizard, you got a Briar in there, right? And then they're like, no. I'm like, gotta have a Briar in Charizard. You know, like, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, that'll win you games, but like those things don't happen like with those kind of things. So it's nice. So it's really on us to kind of play and kind of figure those things out, which is nice.
Yeah.
Speaking to the choir, big dog.
Huh?
Speaking to the choir.
Yeah, love it, dude. I love it. But like recently, though, I've just been, I don't know if it's because of Prismatic Evolutions or if I've just been playing too much or whatever. Like, I just definitely getting burnt out, like just in the Pokemon scene.
Yeah.
Like I have 12 decks, 13, 14. I have 14 decks currently built on a shelf. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm like, I only like playing 4 of them.
Yeah.
You know, so like, I think I'm going to just die. But the other ones on the shelf are meta decks.
Yeah.
You know, like, so they're the Raging Bolts and the Charizards and the Dragapults and like all of those things. I'm just like, I don't like playing those decks, you know? So it's like, I think I'm just going to start like pulling back, go down to like the 4 deck range of the 4 of my favorites that are probably still off meta, but whatever, who cares? And then maybe pick up something else, because I'd like to try out Lorcana or something, but not go to the extent to like right now where I have like 4 massive bins full of Pokemon cards in 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need thousands of those cards. So I'm gonna try to like pick like 1 or 2 different styles of play, and then just like stick to those. And then if there's like 1 or 2 cards that need to be flip-flopped around every once in a while, that's fine. But like the total rebuild every week of 3 decks, no, we're done.
You do
We're
not
done
have
doing
to
it.
do that.
I'm done doing that.
No.
Well, what's also nice about like Lorcana or whatever is like they don't have, well, they have like the enchanted cards and stuff like that, and some like holo cards or whatever. But they're not like Pokemon where there's 5 different versions of one card, right?
Right.
No, the problem is that the one version of that one card is $70 because it's the one version of that one card. So it doesn't
balance out.
It doesn't balance out.
Okay.
Just to be very clear, like the affordability of building decks is exclusive to Pokemon.
Okay.
No other TCG does what Pokemon does, where they go, here's the 50-cent version of this card. Here's the $100 version of the card.
You want it to look pretty, you can buy $100. You want to play the game, it's 50 cents.
There are common and uncommon cards in Lorcana that can push the $15, $20
and you need 4
range, and you need 4. You know,
just don't worry, I have lots of cards.
I mean, again, you have a positive community element of trading and people just wanting other people to play. Lorcana, I will say, being in the space, Lorcana is the least affordable of the games 100%. To play.
Good, perfect. Sounds like my game.
You have a friend has locked cards.
I would use the community.
I will definitely use the community.
I would start at a starter deck, start tweaking that, see what you like, figure out what you're gonna play, find lists that you can get a lot of stuff out of, or,
sure.
that match a play style you generally know you already like from playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Lorcana's the roughest in terms of.
But it's also because it's still new.
It's well
newer.
It is because it's new. It's also just because it's expensive.
Right.
Like
okay.
it is a 24 pack box instead of a 36 pack box.
Yep.
And the box price is more expensive than a Pokemon box.
And
price.
the stuff that's in it's more rare.
And the stuff that's in it's more rare.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
So I mean, it is just a more expensive game on the economic level to play. But
two of those decks, I'll stick to two of those decks.
Yeah, no, well, and that's what I'm saying. I honestly think that, like, and we keep teasing this episode, but I think that, like, that's the point that we'll really talk about when we talk about cooking and all that sort of stuff. Yes, there's good cards. Yes, there's cards that are in meta because they have all the support they need to be good right now.
Right.
Absolutely.
And we're not gonna ever make a point that doesn't suggest that is real. That is real.
Oh, 100%.
I think too many players that come into the competitive space, almost everybody gets into that deck didn't do good, rebuilding, I'm going to try playing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not what I think the cooks love, which is that deck didn't do good, why?
Right, yeah.
What happens if I swap these two in and go this? And then what happens if I swap those two in and go this? And
what if I put a Precious Trolley in a future deck?
Right.
Who did that?
mean,
I did. Efficient. It brought efficiency up to like 80%.
Might actually swap it in my list and I'm a really big reboot pop.
Yeah.
But
that's the one thing.
Future Trolley
that'll
was
be
so
future
good.
cook stuff. But
I think the real answer is find those two decks that you like for a format.
Yeah.
Right? The cards are out. You know what's going on. And just push your lines with that.
Right.
Like if you really want to talk about like, I want to do better. Right.
Because that's a way to guarantee you're going to get better because you're not swapping decks all the time and whatever. So.
You know what the deck search is. You know the different lines against the different matchups because you've drilled them 110 times.
Right.
And maybe when the new set comes out, you're replacing 4 cards, 3 cards, 2 cards, or you got to figure out a way. Oh, that'd be really good.
Right.
Let's see if putting it in makes it worth. Changing something out. I think that's where the competitiveness is. I mean, we can talk about like what happened at Worlds with Miraidons and everybody being like, well, Miraidon's dead, and then all of a sudden it's
a mirror match.
I mean, and so like I just really think that I think that the Miraidon players that stuck through, they had good weekends, they had bad weekends, they had great weekends that didn't result in a win, but Miraidon was always kind of sitting up there in the top 15. How could it really be dead, right? And you're just seeing less of it because less people are playing it because they believe the meta saying that it's not. But then you get those people that are like, no, I know Miraidon backwards and forwards. I'm taking Miraidon. I know Charizard, or I know Chen Pao, or I know whatever. And I'm going to take that deck. And then they go and they do good with it. And then the next time it's this, right? And I'm not saying that support doesn't come in making a deck better or support leaves making a deck worse. But I really think the real secret, and again, I'm not good, so take this with whatever it is. But what I do notice the really, really, really good players doing universally is dialing in with a deck. Dialing it in. They know their lines. They know, like, across all the different games, whether it be Pokemon, Magic, Lorcana, the universal trait is that the great players dial in a deck. It's not that that's the best deck in format. It's that that's the best deck for them in this format. They like playing it. They have fun. Their brain locks in with all the different solutions that it offers. And
that's why you see those repeat people at regionals that are like the ones that are consistently at the top or whatever are playing the same deck, almost the same list as they played last time. Instead of like, oh, well, Guardian didn't do this. I'm going to switch to Charizard for the next one. It's like, no, these guys just stick with it, and like you said, put in the work.
Regional or whatever, dial in on a list.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I hope that I can go to Milwaukee
I
It's Algonquin
want
for
you
the
to go
good
to
land.
Yeah.
Milwaukee solely. One, I want you to have, not solely, I want you to have a great time.
Yeah.
And I think it will be a great time with you there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also Sydecast in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I'm doing hella content. I'm bringing a selfie stick.
Yeah.
We
We'll be
it's a
there.
content trip.
We'll be there. Yeah. Well, at least two of us are definitely.
Definitely,
gonna
yeah.
be there.
Signups for these are in March, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
End of March.
End of March.
Okay, I got a little bit of time. We got to figure this out.
Yep.
Drew's going to Disney this week. I'm
Yeah.
I'm going to Disney in June, so
Yeah.
and that's in May. All right, we'll figure it out. I'll work more overtime. Just work more, guys. When you just work more.
Work more.
Just all the hours. Just stop playing games and work. I can't.
It's literally my job.
I'm not interested in living.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cell plasma.
One last thought before we go. 1,
2.
3.
Well, sorry, 1.
I think this is my final thought on like regionals.
Yeah.
I haven't gone to one by myself and haven't gone to one with friends.
Yeah.
If you got homies that's playing,
Yeah.
you should probably go with friends.
Yeah.
Way more
sure.
fun.
Yeah.
Way more fun. Way less stress.
Yeah.
But then you can always also be comparing and talking
Yeah,
after games
it
or
gives-
whatever. And
So here's my example. So Indy, when 03 dropped, didn't really talk to nobody.
sure.
Because I didn't match up with like nothing against those people. I don't remember their names or nothing, but like nothing against those, but they weren't talky like I am
Sure.
talky.
Sure.
And again, I don't like talking about Pokemon while playing Pokemon. I'm a crazy person. But like there was no pivot for me.
Sure.
There was nowhere else for my brain to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
I feel like if I sit down at a table, I'm gonna have to like screen them immediately.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like,
you are
gonna
100%
talk,
checking a person.
or do you need me to be silent?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
you gotta gauge them.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
And then if they tell me to be silent, then I'm just gonna like put game face on and just give them stink eye the whole time. Yeah.
There's quite a bit of that does happen.
I know,
Like
yeah.
I saw it happen to me a few times. I saw it happen. It's more of like a courtesy, just so
Sure,
that
yeah,
everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, like the non-talkers will be like, "Hey, I'm not being rude. I just focus
I'm
in
locked
and
in.
I don't."
And I understand,
like,
yeah.
I get
and
But my brain works better when it's not hyper focused.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a mumble every time.
And my response was like, "You okay if I say stupid shit?" And they're
Right,
like,
yeah.
don't worry
Yeah.
about it." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." Because I can't stop.
Right, I can't.
I can't stop.
I'm gonna start humming. You gonna get weird songs. I might
yeah.
freestyle. You never know.
We're gonna go through an entire discography of whatever, any noise I hear from
At
somebody
some
else, and
point,
there's just
if I hear a word, dog,
right, yeah. just literally
Jules. Now I'm in Run the Jules. Now you
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right,
See?
ain't done. Now I'm thinking fucking Jeopardy.
To your point, though, like I think the other side of that too is if you like seeing the people that you like do well, that gives
Yeah.
you like
It gives you like a pickup.
It's like another pickup, right? Like, how did I do? I lost, and
Right.
it's like, and then somebody comes back and Brock's like, I won. You're like, hell yeah, let's
Yeah.
go,
Let's
Brock.
fucking go.
Yeah, you know,
Or you
like
could probably
um,
bounce ideas too. I mean, you should be practiced enough by that point, but you could still kind of go over your loss
yeah,
or whatever
Right,
and kind of.
It's a good time.
It's
Yeah.
good to have a crew. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all in everything. It's good to have a community.
Yeah.
It's good to have, but if you're going to a regional for the first time, or you're going to a competitive event for the first time, bring a pal.
Yeah.
It's gonna
It's gonna make it 1,000.
at least somebody that you feed off of well. Maybe not that one pal that is gonna make you go do a murder afterwards. But
The play in traffic friend?
yeah.
Okay.
None of those guys. Yeah.
I'm the guy. I'm him. But
You're him. Probably don't remember your name though.
I do. It's your boy, Big Cupe, the gangster of love. 'Tis the season. It's almost Valentine's, baby. Find you a person, and if you got a person, love them, cherish them, and treat them well. It's been us. Have a great night. Bye.
Give me kisses!